good? You know what it is, bro. About to go ahead and get with SP. We about to get this Knicks Real Talk pregame popping off. Get this shit popping, man. I'll holla at you. One.
Up in the black Silverado, stop and get some petrol to hit the metro on full throttle. Across the gospels, we in the Mecca bottleneck. On 32nd, where this bottle feature around flexing. Posted up like sticky note. You can smell the icky in the air like hickory smoke. Guaranteed, we well represented. We on that Nick shit. You can smell it, so please don't step in it. Cause the burner cooking with gas. The cat in the alley digging through your team trash. Getting that cash ready for DoorDash and make a splash. But they moving slow before the pregame show. No cash, so here's what's on tap. But God, no talking five. And report, keep my two in the chat. Interacting with your mandem. It's a brand in front of the camera. There's a picture. Cats and snap back to fit the cat. So we Nick dripping. Nick feel, you know, we fit the description. It's the OG, Olin, and Anobi. Me and my man Brody, we by your fire TV, that's Cody.
It's Knicks Real Talk. You know how we get down. We in that Nick drip, dripping and Nick drip. It's Knicks Real Talk. You know how we get down. We in that Nick drip, dripping and Nick drip. We in that Nick drip, dripping and Nick drip. It's Knicks Real Talk. You know how we get down. We in that Nick drip, dripping and Nick drip. Real Talk. Yo, what's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Salute. Knicks Real Talk. We in the building. Divine Shy Powers. Off-season Real Talk episode 2, man. We in the building on this hot Wednesday, man. About to get it popping with you guys. Talk a little bit of Dick basketball and all that good stuff, man. But before I go any further, we bring my partner in crime in the building. We can get this thing popping. Man, Shy Powers, what's going on, my man?
All right, Divine, seemed like 13,212 years since the last time. Well, that's not actually true, but, you know, since the last time we've been on talking and stuff like that. So glad to see you back out there. Salute to the family in the chat. Let's sit here and chop it up. You know what I mean? Let's talk about it. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Yo, salute to the family in the building. Thank y'all for coming in tonight, man. Real talk, man. Y'all up in here, man. Salute to everybody. What's good? Rasul, what's good? Darren, what's good? Walter, what's good? Wall from VA in the building. Crim's dad, what's good? Jay Chose, my man, On Diaf, what's good to all the family in there, man. Hoping y'all having a good summer, but try to stay cool. It's like crazy hot out there. Y'all know how it's going down out there, man. It's really the heat wave out there, man. For real. But you know what, man? I hope y'all staying cool out there the best you can and all that good stuff. But you know what, man? We in here talking about our Knicks, man. It's like I said, getting closer to the draft, getting closer to free agency. A lot of things going on in the NBA. Knicks, you know, still looking for a head coach out there. We got extensive available guys, that's eligible guys coming up pretty soon. You know, a lot of these teams is being money strapped right now, so they got to make moves that they didn't think they would have to make. Some crazy trades going down, so we talk about all that. But Shy Powell, other than that, man, just quiet on the home front, man. Other than we got to talk about these coaches and you know what they're gonna do on that front and everything like that. And obviously, you know, we like I said, we got players that might need to be moving in the next year or so. We got the draft coming up, 50th pick. What the Knicks gonna do is hard to say. You know, they, like you said, we were speaking earlier. They're talking about maybe some centers out there in the background for these guys or whatever the case may be. But, you know, knowing the Knicks and, you know, what they need to do is different now. The Tibbs is not the coach no more. Does that change the way to change the type of player they might want to bring in now? Because knowing that normally your coach kind of helps dictate what type of players you want to have in the building to work with his system. But now that that's no longer the case right now for the Tibbs system, you know, we'll talk about who they might need to bring in here, whether it's the draft or maybe it's free. Is there anybody on that Knicks team that we like, well, that was a Tibbs type of guy? Maybe they might not be the next coach's guy so much. So it's a lot of stuff that still need to be ironed out with the Knicks. And what's your thoughts on the season so far, on the all-season, man, and what you expected?
Exactly what I expected. You know what I mean? They have been diligent doing their job, shaking up teams. If you're a Knicks fan, you should understand some of the things. Like a lot of things that I've seen that we haven't been able to talk about was about how the Knicks, they fired Tibbs. They didn't have no plans. They didn't do all this stuff. The Knicks had a plan. You know what the Knicks did? They shook up the whole NBA. They shook them up by sucking all the oxygen out from the playoffs and made coaches that were on contracts get extensions. So they put them on blast. You know what I mean? They put teams over there. You see Udoka got a nice big you see the other, you got nice so Kid didn't get a contract yet. And Kid also, a lot of his surrounding force, his nucleus is leaving him in that area. And right now he has not got a contract. I mean, he has not got the extension yet. And let's be clear. Kid ready. If Kid want to leave, he done did it already. Didn't he leave Brooklyn? This was like, yo, get me up out of here. 2 picks. Didn't he? All right, so Kid is not out of the mix. With that being said, they've done great things. They put, some leaks are coming out from the NBA here and from this one here, and who think we're going to do this and who are you going to do that? I'm just waiting around to see what happens tomorrow. We'll know what happens after tomorrow because our pick will not be tonight. It'll be tomorrow, and it's the 50th pick. You know what I mean? Can we get something we scored pretty good in the last couple of times when we got 50th picks. Look, Jericho Sims, look at Ariel Hulk. You know what I mean? So let's see what happens. I like and I think the Knicks will, before Summer League, before July 1st, or right before the 4th of July, before the Summer League actually start, will have a coach in place in the next 6 to 10 days. I really think it's going to be Saturday. I think by Saturday they want to take the narrative away from the NBA. NBA talking about all these players. I think Saturday it'll drop that the Knicks got blase, and that'll be it. So I think they did an excellent job. And this is one of the better off seasons because the Knicks right now is so relevant in talking about NBA teams.
Yeah, real talk. On the Jason Kidd front, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, that's probably the only reason the Knicks haven't signed the coach yet. They're probably waiting for that. I think once Jason Kidd signed, to me, that could be one of the main reasons why Knicks might hold up. And just to piggyback off what you said, you think about it, Sweeney, one of the coaches, he went out there, he got a good role out there in San Antonio, I think. Jared Dudley, another one of Jason Kidd's assistants, he went to Cleveland, and my man Gosh Ham guy might be going I want to say Orlando.
Was it Lakers? Wasn't it the Lakers or Golden State? Wasn't it somewhere west?
I thought it was Orlando, but it might be. I'm not sure 100%.
Orlando? Was it Orlando? Maybe it might have been Orlando. Yeah. I've seen some things about Shamgar going somewhere too. So his whole nucleus, his whole team is leaving him because they gave him an extension 2 years ago, but the team didn't give his office, his coaches, the payment. So they went to go to better pastures, and that's just leaving a bad taste. I believe you didn't include him to let him know about the Luka trade going out. And you sucked all the energy out. You let the good health dude leave. Then the guy that we got, the team that they got over here, now all his pieces are starting to leave from him and stuff like that. I think this is we'll hear some about this, either right before the 4th of July or right after, because I think the Summer League is like the 10th or something like that. It's right after the 7th. That Sunday is my physical, so I think it's got to be around the 10th or something like that. So we'll know by then.
Oh yeah. Thank you, Rasul, for that. I'm gonna tell you, to me, I don't see how that Jason Kidd don't leave. Here's why I say that. Do you think Jason Kidd gonna want to coach the season and they got to bring in new assistants? Just let that marinate for a while. All your assistants leave. So what are you gonna do? Coach next year with new guys? That don't make sense. That don't make no sense. I can't even see the Knicks doing that when they let Tip go. Like, you literally let Tip go, but you keep all your assistants. You might keep one or two of them, or let's say if all Tip's assistants left and they kept him. I don't understand that move to me, and that the writing's on the wall to me, ladies and gentlemen. If these guys are that important to what he do, that's like, you don't let your team go. So that means that either Jason Kidd gonna have to spend the off season hiring new assistants to work on his coaching staff, or the front office is gonna put somebody in there. I definitely don't see that happen. So I can really truly honestly say I think, at least from that standpoint, shot power, Jason Kidd might be out the door. He might be out the door, ladies and gentlemen. I know at the NBA franchise, I don't think, or not any franchise, just not only NBA, but just a a team sport where you got assistant coaches and like you take the head coach that all the three of his dudes go. Nah.
I'm just gonna, I'm gonna just build the fuel or the fire because this is how it all started that we was getting Giannis. So here we go. Giannis back from the European wherever he was, and now he back looking at the team. It's like, y'all better do something. Y'all got a couple of weeks to make some moves in order for me to stay. From all the stuff that I've seen on the net, I don't know how true it is, but it seemed like it could be. I mean, all right, let me just say this, man. If you're looking at Milwaukee right now, you know that Dame is not coming back. They're an older crew over there. You got a 30-some Lopez, the guy that we had with the bug dye. I can't think of his name right now. He's 30-something. They already let Middleton go. They're an older team over there. Giannis wants another ring, I believe. And where would it be best in the East right now? Where right now some teams are not really, teams ain't really that strong right now. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yep, yeah, facts. Hey, on another coach's front, James Barago, ladies and gentlemen, he being interviewed by the Knicks this week. Obviously, James coaching Magic for 5 years, did a lot. He coached down in in Charlotte, right in my area for a while. 143 and 183. But he's one of them guys from the Greg Popovich tree. I mean, he's a good coach, but he got the experience you need. Because, like I said, he not only did he come through Pop, but he coached. A lot of teams he went to, they rebuild, like the Charlottes of the world and like Orlando. So has he ever got a chance to coach a team like the Knicks? No, but maybe that record could be different. But sometimes when you're a young coach, the first thing they do is throw you onto these teams who's losing, and just trying to keep them afloat until they get better. Then they go get them a real prominent coach. It seems like not that he's not a real coach, but they normally take him and replace him with a guy who they think can get them over the top. So guys like him, James Barago, who've been mediocre team for just about his whole coaching career. But he can coach though. I always thought he was a good coach. Even when he was with Charlotte, he used to play coach the Knicks. I'm like, he sometimes used to give it fits with the way let's see how it goes. But he's definitely going to be in there today per Shams. That he's going to be able to interview with the Knicks. I have a problem with him. From for other coaching talent, the man can coach in basketball. He just don't have a winning record, like I said, because of the team that he's been coaching. So we'll see. Any thoughts on my man Shop Powell? What you think about James Barago?
I mean, I seen him around. I didn't really. He's one of the ones that you just want to put out there to fill the space to, put people on notice and put his name back out there that he's being ideally shopped around to the New York Knicks as to being their head coach. I don't think he has. I don't want to say has a chance. You know what I mean? But I think they have. There's some more people in place in front of him. But I don't know if whoever the coach is going to be for the New York Knicks is coming into what seems to be a shaky team. The coach that left that got fired left the team a little shaky and stuff like that. But you have some premier players on this team. You have all-stars on this team. You have some what would say is some superstars on this team. So whoever comes to be the coach for this team is going to be set up. This is not like you were saying earlier, Divine, a team that's trying to build itself back up to get to that pinnacle, to maybe we need another coach to take us over that threshold. Nah, this team is here. This team went 51 games last year, the Eastern Conference playoffs this year. This team is not a rookie rebuilding team or nothing like that. So our top 7 right now, I take that top 7 over a lot of teams right now, especially in the East coming up this year, being healthy-wise. If we can stay healthy, our top 7 that we got, I think we can. So him, I've seen him coach. I've seen him a couple of times playing against us. Is he an ideal coach for me? Not one of my favorites, but he is a good coach. I've seen him coach against the Knicks a couple of times. So, and you say he comes from the Popovich tree. That's a good tree to come from. You know what I mean? So.
You know what? It's interesting. And sometimes with a team like what we have, just to piggyback off your shop, because you made a good point there. Like with the type of team that we have, it's almost like they talent coaches them. You know what I mean? Like they got enough talent if a coach got a good X's and O's game,
Right.
it's not like the Knicks is a young baby squad, not like a bunch of rookies. You know what I mean? But they got veterans on there who know basketball. You know what I mean? And they got a lot of basketball minds around them. So I can understand why the Knicks might say, you know what, we just need a coach who can coach these guys from an X's and O's standpoint, but also let them beat in and be a player's coach, because these guys are already intellectually savvy enough. They got a lot of high characters. This is a high character team the New York Knicks have here. All these players are high character dudes, all of them. You know what I mean? And they know how to act as grown men. So they might just need a coach who got a good, let's say, an offense bag, maybe a good defensive bag that they can incorporate into what they do and make them catch over the top. You never know. Listen, look at the man in OKC. You know what I mean? Doug, very young. Doug and I is a very young coach, but he know how to coach. And so he got a lot of good talent. You know what I mean? And they blended it together. And that's what it is. So you know, my man Jamal Mosley down in Orlando. Sometimes you just need a coach to just coach you and let your talents, you know, win the game, because it is a talent driven league. So we'll see Shot Power, but I don't have a problem with him because I know he know how to coach. But like I said, you know, that my end-all pick, not at all. Mike Brown is not neither. I'm the guy that know Nui. I don't know too much about him. Taylor Jenkins, I like. I think he did a good job with John Morant and them under circumstances out there in Memphis in that place.
I think that's the guy.
But I also believe that Jason Kidd door is not shut, and I really believe that's I think that's over 50% shot the Knicks can get him. I really believe that. I just think he moved, and here you go. And don't get me wrong, they got a championship roster down there. You know what I mean?
They do.
If they extend Kyrie, then you got Anthony Davis coming back. You still got Klay Thompson down there. They just gave what's my man, the big boy in the middle, Daniel Gafford 3 years, 60, you know, get him extension $60 million 3 years, something like that. So you know, they got a championship type of team over there in Dallas. But I do think that the way this is going, I don't see that. Jason Kidd would have had to tell. I just want to bring this up because it's important. The reason why I want to put this in the equation for the Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't want to say that I'm harping on Jason Kidd, but Jason Kidd would have had to tell Dallas Mavericks, it's okay for you to let all my sisters go. He would have had to kind of like, you can let them all go. I mean, they lost 3 assistants, man. And these cats was really
with him,
with his decision making when it comes to the team on the floor. So that's going to be very interesting to see moving forward. But I would not leave that door closed on New York Knicks. He want to come here. There's mutual interest from Jason Kidd and the Knicks. So you can't rule that out. And like I said, because here's the reason why I say that, Shot Powers. If the Knicks felt like they couldn't get Jason Kidd, they probably would have had a coach already.
Right. And this is another thing, Divine. The reason why you trust all these coaches out here to put NBA on blast, you trust Udokas and these guys like that to let you know, listen, the New York Knicks is looking for a heck. And I'm not diminishing any team. I'm not talking down about any team. I'm not talking derogatory about any team. But we talk about the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks. The Mecca. This I'm not talking like we're talking about Milwaukee. I don't even let me take all the names back. I don't even say any other team right now. This is the New York Knicks, big market. You come here, you can guarantee you if you win here, you can win anywhere. So you know what I mean. So this is why one of the reasons why I think Kidd is still in play. I mean, I really think he hasn't had the extension to us, even though I think he just got extended maybe a year or two ago. But too many things are like the puzzle pieces. All his coach, all his guys that been with him since Brooklyn is leaving. They're all leaving. They get to Dallas and they all want to go. Dallas is making decisions without including the management. I mean, without making the coaching staff, or however you want to say it. They traded Luka. No one knew. Kidd was like, I said he didn't know. It looked like he didn't know. Maybe he did. I don't know. But now his team, now those guys leaving, so it leaves the door open for that.
Yep, yeah, real
big
talk,
wide. That it ain't like a little crack. That thing wide open.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see how it goes in the next week or two. I think we hear something pretty soon, ladies and gentlemen. But other than that, man, the coach search is the coach search. But I do think a lot of it is like, just let people, sometimes you got no game, you got to play chess and checkers. And Nick said, let's interview these guys where they don't think that it's just only about him. But deep down, it probably is about him. You know what I mean?
Right. Let's not get what they just got caught for and had to give up a second round pick for Jalen Brunson. What was that thing called? Tampering. Yeah, they don't want to get caught with those tampering charges. So you fill out, you go and do your due diligence, and if Kid has to be the one who makes the move, but you let him know, yeah, Kid, you want to come over to New York? You want to come to New York? You think New York? You think if all right, if you go to the finals and you win in Dallas, you're gonna be big because you won the finals. But if you come to New York and you win the championship in New York, I'm just saying that's how I feel. I'm a New Yorker, so that's how I feel.
Yeah, real. So salute to the chat, man. Salute to everybody in the building. Thank y'all for coming in on this hot summer day, man. Salute to Dennis in the building. Prezi, the boss. I see you, my man. Size 9. Danny, my brother. Danny, what's good, man? DL, good to see you as well. Just Nicks, the whole chat. Everybody, salute to you guys, man. Thank y'all for coming in, man. We just kind of went over the COVID situation in New York, seeing what's going on with that, man. But I said I think the end all be all is going to be pretty much maybe to me, Jason Kidd. Just a thought. I have no inside source. I'm not even a source kid. I'm just coming off my pure speculation.
Come on, you already know what it is, man. The feeling. We know we from the. We know the feeling.
Facts. And but other than that, man, listen. Another note that's crazy, ladies and gentlemen. These guys, Mikal Bridges and Mitchell Robinson, Shaw Power. These guys in the last year, their deals. They're going to be extension eligible. Pretty soon. I'll pull up the date for you guys in a minute. But what's your thoughts on these guys, man? These guys got that's 35 right now, $37 million, pretty much between two of them. But obviously, these guys, you know what? I'm not even speculating that they trade these guys. But I do think this second apron thing, ladies and gentlemen, comes to play for the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks will not be able to sign both of them. They won't be able to do that. You will have to get rid of some salaries, and that salary that we got, far as you could keep Mitch, but I mean because the pressure to money and all that's coming off the book, and a couple of other $2 million players. But what's your thoughts on this Mikal and Mitchell Robinson thing, Shaw Powers? How you feel about these guys? And what do you think they need to do for the Knicks, keep them on the team, or what you thinking about?
In years to come, I haven't really crunched the numbers. I really haven't done, but I believe that the Knicks can. It depends on what deals that these guys get. If Mikal take the homeboy break, the around the way break, and get off of that, closer to 40 million and get him closer to 32, 33. And Mitch can take a sweetheart deal since he's the eldest Nick and not look for 20, but get 14, 15. I think it could happen. I think you could keep both of them. You know what I mean? And it's then because in 2 years, the salary cap is going up a tremendous amount. I think it's 1 or 2 years, this year and next year, something like that. I think it's going to be different from what the numbers are now. So it's possible, but it all depends on what these guys take for the money. But if both these guys want a big paycheck, right now, the perfect time is if you want to trade Mitch, this is the perfect time. This is what we've been waiting for, right? Everybody that want to trade Mitch. Mitch is hot right now. Mitch a hot commodity. He came back. He played, 20-something games, 30-something games. How many games he played? I don't even know how many games he played. He played all those games, and now he's a hot commodity. He stayed healthy, and every game he got better and better and more minutes and more stuff. And he is a dominating factor in the NBA, if you don't know it by now. If Mitch can actually, in my opinion, if Mitch can play 65 games, 66 games, with what he did with the limited time that he played last year, 66, 67 games, he surely could be nominated to one of those top 3 defensive rounds, 3 tiers that they got, the 15 players in the top 10 in defensive rounds, surely, in my opinion. So, yeah, if you're going to trade Mitch right now, 'tis the season to do it right now. You know what I mean? He's $12 million, $13 million, almost $13 million. I think if you can get him off and get a center back for him with less money and take some picks back, I think it could work. It might help the cap. You know what I mean? But I haven't done all that homework, so I don't want to say anything that I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's what's interesting to me, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to the Mitchell Robinson scenario. Obviously, you see his whole portfolio right there and everything. Next year, 13 million, basically. The numbers, he had an off year number-wise, career years. He down 3-point scoring. But let's look at this also, ladies and gentlemen. How do you think the Knicks would have been with him all year? How important would he had been to the team? He could have made a difference even more in the fact that he only played, like Shop House say 30 games, whatever, 20, 30 games, I don't know, whatever the case may be. But the next year's the aspiring 13 is interesting to me because I feel like this here. You know me, I'm a Mitchell Robinson homer. I like Mitchell Robinson. I like what he do for the team because we need a guy who don't have to score all the time, who can play defense. We got scored, we got bucket getters. That's not we never had that problem this year. So but I think he fits in good. I thought a little bit of time that we did see with Karl Anthony Towns could have had an impact. But let me ask you guys a question. Because now that Tibbs is not the coach anymore, and do you think a guy like Mitchell Robinson is still necessary? Because we always need defense, but also you probably can get a guy who can play defense, maybe not as good as Mitch, but he also can score the ball better than Mitch, at least under Tibbs anyway. I think Mitch got game. I seen him sometime in his workout videos. The cat got talent. And I think Tibbs just was using like Joakim Noah. I don't know what to say about that, but so it's interesting. The limit shot power. You got a $13 million aspiring, new coach coming in, new ideas, new philosophy. Especially if it's not a coach that's gonna be you do what the front office tell you to coach, the way they want you to coach. No, you literally come in and implement your own game, your own style. You coaching the way you want to coach, and they're not gonna tell you how to coach. Because to me, you want your coach to have an impact on the players that's coming in? Because like I said, but it also might be that they don't need just system. We need to adapt to how they do. Like Tibbs to me was like, you gotta play basketball the way I want you to play. With my system, opposed to maybe another coach. Yeah, maybe another coach come in as well. You know what? I'm going to adapt to your talent, not the other way around. So maybe Mitchell Robinson might come into a point where it's a 50-50 thing. But let's say if Mitchell Robinson command $20 million. Let's say if he command $20 million. Can you go out and get somebody who could play defense like Mitchell Robinson? Because that's the case, Shop Howard. Shit, you got guys like you can go get another $2 million center. I mean, look at what my man Bradley and them was doing for the Indiana Pacers. Guys like that, you know what I mean? So instead of having the campaigns them at $2 million or $3 million, you might can go out there and get you another center to do certain things and let him walk. Because I don't think the Knicks is not gonna give him $20 million. I think Mitchell Robinson time, to me, that's my opinion. I think it's over. Because I just think that for what he do and for what he do, they can get another one of them. So do you give Walker Kessler, if that's the case, do you give Walker Kessler $15 million? You know what I mean? Or 20 on the free market. It's gonna be interesting to see. So, ladies and gentlemen, them are the things that we got to deal with, coming up, for the Knicks and everything like that. But I also want to tap into Mikal. I think Mikal is going to be a very, very interesting one in a lot of reasons. Obviously, his financial repercussions for this is way more than Mitchell Robinson. He could be damn double Mitchell Robinson's salary, ladies and gentlemen. For his repercussions on his salary cap is much more, but also his impact is going to be more than Mitchell Robinson's as well, because this cat has got game. You know what I mean? A lot of the fan base, I think they're 50-50 on Mikal Bridges, Shop Powers, to me. I think a lot of people okay with him, a lot of people okay not with him. Mikal Bridges got aspiring coming up this year and at the $25 million. $25 million. Obviously, you extend him. I think if you extend him, you got to lose Mitchell Robinson. That's what I think. I think that money that you would try to get Mitchell Robinson is going to go towards his extension. And knowing that, like I said, Jalen Brunson took that hit for them. Maybe all for he can make sure Mikal get his money. Maybe that was Jalen Brunson's whole philosophy. I take this cut, but you got to stem my boy. And also help keep the flexibility with the team. Mikal, 18 points this year, ladies and gentlemen, 4 above his career average. 1 rebound less than his career average. Assist 3.3, that was up this year because we had a pretty much good offensive team out there. But 13.9 PER. That's the killer to me. He only 14 in his career. Kevin Durant got a 26, 23. All guys like that. So if you extend this man, Shot Powers, obviously you're going to be looking somewhere around Anunoby money.
Let's hope not. Yeah, it's about 39, something like that. Let's hope you take the homeboy discount. If he can come up to 39 and come to 32, 33, with a salary, the salary that goes up every year instead of getting the big chunk and they're going down, which however they work it.
Mm-hmm.
But if he can come down off of that 39, 40 and get to like 35 and then get to 40 towards the end of the contract, yeah, we could work that out.
Yeah. I think he's definitely. That's why I'm really interested to see. That's why one reason I do want to run this thing back. I really do, because I think you get to see this team now. Maybe with a coach who's giving them more minutes or less minutes.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Maybe with a coach who got a different offense back. Go ahead, Shop Powers.
That's a great analogy, Devon, because one of the things that we talk about, how Bridges is so bad last year, he was so bad. Remember, Bridges was the number one minutes guy last year. I think he was number 1 or top 3. You know what I mean? If we could take the 39 minutes that we were giving Bridges, 38 minutes from Bridges, and get it back down to 31, 32 minutes a game, and give that extra 7 minutes to somebody that's on the bench, it's going to make him a more sturdy player. It should, anyway. It should. We start seeing these guys, and I'm talking the broad sense too, the guys start getting tired looking. This is the first time that I want to say, to talk bad about Tibbs really for playing the guys so many minutes, because down this stretch in the playoffs, they start looking tired a little bit, a little worn out, a little not into the game, because the first 2 quarters they amped, but now they burnt the hell out. You know what I mean? So let's see what we can do with a coach that wants to run a more of a 9 to 11 man rotation, where Bridges is only getting 32 minutes now. And Josh Hart is only getting 22, 23 minutes now. Where these guys are condensing their minutes to give to other players to help them win games. That's what I'm hoping for this year. I'm hoping for. I do not think that we're going to see any of these starting guys playing more than 35 minutes a game until it gets to the end, or we are playing to get to the first position, or coming from the third position going to the second position, or so on and so forth. So that's what I think. I think the changing of this coach is going to help the team. It's going to help everybody. And I hope that both Mitch and Mikal take the homeboy discount. I hope they take the homeboy discount. Even though Mitch can get 20 out there, if Mitch takes 16, we be all right. Mikal take 32. I think those medium money in the middle of there won't put us over the apron, at least for now, and at least until the next year, until after next year when the money goes up, hopefully.
Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely an interesting scenario. But like I said, we always know it's about the name on the front of the jersey. I like both guys, but if you tell me you can put $25 and $37 million together, and you bringing in somebody who's going to help, you got to go for it. You got to do what you got to do, because it's really all about longevity as well. Can you get a guy who could put them 2 dudes together and do what they do? If you telling me, you could telling me hypothetically, Giannis, Mitchell Robinson, Mikal is a Giannis, then you go get Giannis, obviously. Because if you're gonna pay $50 million for somebody, you better make sure these motherfuckers can get busy. And I just don't think that there's not a team in the NBA, not too many can fuck with a Giannis and a Big Cat and an Anunoby front line. I just don't think it's not many two people who mess with that. Because everybody up in the ante. You know what I mean? The East got weaker in a sense, but a couple of other teams they got better. Orlando look like they're gonna make noise. Jay Chosen, I see you back there, man. I'll bring you in a minute. Orlando they're gonna make some noise. Let the jury's still out on Philly because they just haven't got to play with the team they got. And now Maxey come back healthy, Paul George and Embiid and whoever else they bring back, they're gonna be a problem, ladies and gentlemen. They just wasn't a problem last year because of Joel Embiid and Paul George, them guys got injured. But I do think, to me, the Knicks, and all depends how the Halliburton thing play out the rest of going into the season. I still do think Knicks could be one of the front runners in the East. And do we think that our team with Mitchell Robinson and Mikal Bridges is enough? And I think what Indiana showed me, Slew J, what Indiana showed me that if Halliburton would have got hurt, you don't know what could have happened in that game 7. You know what I mean? So I say all that to say that the Knicks got a team right now that I think will get back to where they were last year. But the expiring contracts of Mikal Bridges and Mitchell Robinson, do you hold on to them to the trading deadline at least? And see where it goes from there, or you got to extend them before the time is up? Jay Jordan, what's good, my man?
Peace. Hope y'all staying cool. It's good to see you. Definitely good to see you guys. I miss this stuff big time. But it is part of my favorite part of the season. You know what I mean? The off season is still part of the season to me. It's like one of my favorite parts of it, Obviously, I wish we could have did a little bit better, but that's not the topic, right? So the topic here is Mitch, Mikal, expiring contracts, making your bench better. Who's going to be the coach? I like what you said. Are they going to run like Tibbs played them to way he wanted them to play? Will the next guy give them flexibility to, kind of just get on the court and do what they want, not do what they want to do, but, more flexibility. You know what I'm saying? Less minutes run. It's funny. I thought you were going to say something, but I know that you also probably feel this way too, knowing you, is that something that Indiana showed me was we don't necessarily like to have a bench, right? To have a bench and to have, solid guys who are, till he got hurt. Look where they went. Nobody in to me, we talked sports basketball all year, next year, all year. Pacers were not in the conversation, and look where they ended up. To me, can you tell me that they have a superstar on their team? They may have a star on their team. They definitely have ballers on their team, but what they have on their team is bench players that could soak up minutes and get you double digits, whether it's 10, whether it's 18, no matter what. So my personal opinion is this. Right now, Mitch reminded me of young Mitch, the younger Mitch, which means what? His value is high right now.
Right.
And if you do any businesses, this. You make moves on certain things when the value of it is the most high. Like if you're selling your car, if you have properties, if you Bitcoin, I heard, all that. You do when the thing, trades, not Bitcoin, trading. You do it when value is high. As high as it is, it's going to be right now. We don't know the fifth game is going to be as high as it is now, let alone the 50th game or whatever. So if I was a front office going upon that, I think that the value for Mitch is higher on the market than it is for our team at this particular moment. And that's no disrespect to Mitch.
I hear that.
That's just I
What
guess
it is.
what it is. You know what I mean? And I was, I've been reading a lot on, every day looking at it. Eventually, it looks like McHale is going to ask for somewhere around. Well, if he doesn't get the discount, the with hometown discount, then it's like four for 154, something like that.
Supermax, 4 years, 154, 156.
Yeah, something like that, right?
Mm.
Okay, I agree with you, Divine. If you're going to get a player, let's say a $40-50 million player, you want that guy to be astronomical.
Superstar.
You know what I mean? He's got to be astronomical. You know what I'm saying? And that is where it did it for me. If he doesn't come off of that number, and I mean in a major way, because if we say, all right, well, if he comes from 38, 32, it's only 6. No, it's 24.
Right.
It's not 6. It's 24.
Right. Exactly.
Right. So
Might
you got
be a little bit more.
And like Shaw says, always follow the money. So if it's 24, then we got more to play with. If Mitch is got, and then the last final thought is putting them together. And I don't know if you're going to touch on Deuce today at all, but if you're putting these two guys together, let's say you package them together, it's the final season. Somebody's going to get paid. Eventually, Brunson's going to get paid down the road. We got to figure out if they're going to make moves. Should we make them at the same time? I agree with you. If you're going to spend a ton, if you're going to spend $20 million, spend it on Walker Kessler. Spend it on Kessler. Young hasn't been hurt. You know what I mean? Body hasn't really went through it. Back up for a good part of his career, which means that a lot of rest. And he's young. He's only growing into his body and into his craft. So, I appreciate what they did here. You can't take that. Like it's a yin and a yang. Like it's a good and a bad. It's like we can run it back because we got to look where we got to. Look where we got to. I really and we could have got further. But were they run down? Are they going to run it back the same way next year? Lastly, I want to just say this real quick. Back in days, I always do this, right? There was a lefty. He pitched for the Mets. This guy pitched more innings than I think anybody in any ever in the reliever. Something Luciano or something like that. The next year he gets traded to the Yankees. He never pitches again. Arm has been blown out, worn out because they used him and overused him and overused him and overused him. And I'm just saying that we used our guys to so many minutes this year. What is it going to look like next year? A year older, what it might be. I'm not saying that's the case, but it's just something to think about as well. You know what I'm saying?
Makes a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be a different. I'm just piggyback off a couple of notes, just follow up on you. I think the Mikal Bridges thing, I think he will take a discount because I think that was always solidified when Jalen Brunson took his. Jalen Brunson took that extension because he knew if I take one, it'll help Mikal to give one. You know what I mean? So on and so on, because they won a championship. These guys are not selfish, dude. They got enough money to last on the rest of their lives. Fucking don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? And they buy the most media-driven capital in the world where they can get
how many commercials you guys can get.
Right.
And they eat for free everywhere. They're not spending money either.
Come on, man. You do it in New York, baby.
I don't think he got a possible chance. I think he got more stand than anybody. Mitchell Robinson to me, just my point of view, my thought on it anyway, excuse me. I don't think Mitch stays, ladies and gentlemen. The second apron I don't care how much his salary cap go up. James Dolan ain't paying that. He ain't giving no Mitchell Robinson $20 million, and he only guaranteed maybe 50 games. And I'm a Mitch guy. I am a Mitch guy. Word is born. I'm a homer. I'm a homer for Mitch. I've been loving Mitch since he walked in the NBA because I know what he do for the Knicks. It helps us out, and that's the reason why we be able to win with him. But because of that apron, ladies and gentlemen, they ain't gonna do it. I think they're gonna be concerned about giving Mitch $20 million. He might not play them games. They done been through that already.
Right there, they just did it.
They done been through it already with my boy, man. And you know what? I don't have a problem.
And he's the last of the regime.
Yep, he's the last of the dying breed. Basically, yeah, I think they move on. Man. I don't think they extend Mitch. I don't think they extend him because I think you can put somebody in that position. I think Rob Sewell, somebody said the best early. You can get it's 10 Mitch for every 12 in the NBA, something like that. But they can go out there and get it. They got a young guy on the bench who might can Haka Purdy who could develop under a new coach that give him more time. And obviously he was injured, obviously, but they got a lot of way they can go at that position. And they got one guy there if they need him to go at that position. The man scored 20-something a game and grabbed 13 rebounds. So that ain't no position where they stressing about. That's what I say about Mitch. So I don't think I do think that he won't make it. Everybody gonna lose somebody, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why these teams are trading these guys because that second apron ain't no joke. Ain't too many billionaires. I don't care if you're a billionaire. You don't want to have to pay extra millions. I ain't giving no $100 million because.
Hundreds of millions. That's a difference. That's a difference than 30, 40 million.
Yeah, wasn't usually been the business.
That's how they got rich, by the way, by not spending that money like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. So.
Yeah, man. I think that might be the case, though.
Yeah, you make a great point there, Divine, because there is some players out that you can look to see. They got the Larry Nance Juniors out there. They got the Bismack Biyombo.
Williams.
You guys a couple of them. You might not look for. Maybe if you want to trade Mitch, you can get two players for the price of Mitch. You could get. You could get a backup power forward that we've been missing, or small forward, or something like that for the second unit because we're going to be missing Precious. Or who knows if Precious is going to come back? Precious might take the sweetheart deal and take a vet minimum. Or he can't take a vet minimum. Maybe he can't take a vet minimum, but maybe he might. But who's going? You think he's going to stay here for $6 million and then stay here again for another 2 years for $3 million a piece? I don't think so. I don't know if he's going to get out there on the market and make $10 million. I don't think Precious, in my opinion, and I'm not second guessing because of the limited minutes that he played under Tom Thibodeau. Maybe he get out there and he start getting 18, 19 minutes a game, and he's averaging 11 points with 3 blocks and six rebounds. I don't know. So but there's some names
6 or 7. Yep.
I definitely can see that, Shop Powers.
Go
ahead. Yeah, I do. I can see that in a sense for this reason here. This is gonna be interesting without Tom Thibodeau. You bringing in a new coach who might be more versatile. Might got a deeper bag, and he might let these players get out there and do their thing. I don't have, like $10 million for Precious Achiuwa at the backup power forward spot. I'm good with that. I think he should be our backup power forward. I think he's that good. I'll give him $10 million to backup power forward in the NBA at today's prices. And you let Mitch go, and you go get a center on the market, $5, $6, $7, $8 million. You can go get a center for $10 million. That means instead of giving Mitch $20 million, you gave Precious Achiuwa $10 million and another center $10 million. That go Mitch $20 million right there. And that other center you might get for Mitch might could do some things that Mitch just wasn't able to do on the Tom Thibodeau. But also, ladies and gentlemen, who's to say with a different coach, Mitch's bag might open up.
Facts.
Who to say with a new coach? They might say, okay, now I'm going to implement you in the offense. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Mitchell Robinson is talented. I don't watch the cat play. He got some skills. But maybe another coach might say, you know what? They not throwing you enough lobs and that enough. They might not give you enough posters in a game. They might not catch you on. So it's crazy. It's like I don't
different
think
flow of the game.
Yeah. See, I don't think the Knicks traded Mitchell Robinson because of his talent. I think it got something to do with that cap. That's it. That's the cap. I wouldn't trade Mitchell Robinson just to trade him, but I think because of the cap, we might lose him. That's where I'm at with that. Jay Chosen and Shop House. I think it's the money.
Listen, he made himself incredibly marketable.
Hot commodity.
And the hot commodity, and I hate to say this because it's the truth, but the moment in the late 90s where everybody started getting millions of dollars, they weren't players anymore. They became commodity. Everything, and that's just the truth. So now that you're looking at when an owner is spending their money, and Leon is looking for people, that maybe that 20 could be turned into 3 players, one with an 8 million, 2 million guy on the bench that could do something, or like one of the centers might not get 8, maybe he'll get 4 if he's looking for a job. You know what I'm saying? And Precious, whatever. Maybe he'll get, instead of 10, maybe he'll take 8. Right. I'm just saying, like, I think that he is our backup power forward. He knows New York. New York knows him. All
he's
that.
New Yorker, baby.
Right, he's a New Yorker. Right, exactly. So he's a New Yorker. So it's not that Mitch. It's not that Mitch. For me right now, I'm not thinking about Mitch's injuries per se. I'm thinking about what he made himself in that playoff run, and because of that, because that puts us in a great position, and that puts him in a good position. But it might not be here. I actually really don't believe it's going to be here at all. But if he takes a 1 year, I don't know. There's a lot of different thoughts in my mind, but I really think Mitch shot he gave himself some money. He made himself a little bag, and it's not going to be with us.
Yeah, let me say this. Talent comes in a lot of varieties, ladies and gentlemen. You could be talented and don't be an offense talented talent. Mitchell Robinson had a lot of talents, ladies and gentlemen. He got a rebounding talent. He got a defense awareness talent. He got athleticism. He might not be an offense-minded, talented guy, but Mitchell Robinson has a lot of talents that be unlocked when he played basketball.
Leadership.
He has a talent of not letting people get to that rim. He has a talent of shooting, throwing, making great screens. He got a talent when he's healthy of defending the rim. That's talent. It takes talent to do these things. So nobody's saying Mitchell Robinson is an offense juggernaut. No, that's not what we're talking about. We are talking about his talent. Mitchell Robinson has a lot of talent that works for the Knicks. Can you imagine if Mitchell Robinson would have played at the beginning of the season?
Oh, man.
Or the New York Knicks. Can you imagine the New York Knicks if Mitchell Robinson would have started the season? They would have won 60 like Cleveland them. Maybe a lot of things could have shaped out different for the Knicks. The minutes. The minute tables give him over. But, so though I'm not opposed to moving Mitch because I believe that it's just that for me, it's the money and the injuries. And that's the hard part is just the injuries. The injuries, it kills Mitch. He don't get enough time, Jay Chosen and Shaw Power to manifest what he could do because he's never on the court. But I'm not giving him no $20 million. I'm not doing it. So you got to ship Mitch out of here, not because of his talent, because we cannot give him $20 million. We can't give Mitch that. But here's the flip side. Daniel Gafford just got what? 60 million, 20 million a year.
Like 20 million.
20 million, Daniel Gafford. And Mitch.
How about Steven Adams?
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, but I'm not giving it to Mitch because of the injuries.
Yep.
That's the only reason I'm not giving Mitch that money. Because of the injury. Because you sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, it might take a certain type of player, a person to unlock you. You know what I mean? Maybe Tiz was unlocking him on the defense side of the ball, but maybe Tiz wasn't utilizing Mitchell Robinson enough on the offense side, along with Jalen Brunson and all them guys. If Mitchell Robinson run down in the post, you got a 6'7" dude on him, you throwing the ball anyway. But they wasn't. Mitchell Robinson throwing a pick and they rim running, but instead of throwing it over the top to Mitchell Robinson, they were shooting it. Or they were throwing it out to the three-point line. So they wasn't, I don't think, but you notice in the playoff, Jalen Brunson started giving it to him like that. Jalen Brunson was getting down the lane, throwing it up at the top of Mitchell Robinson. But I think we move on from him. and go out there and spend the money wisely. It's a lot of Mitchell Robinsons out there to me, ladies and gentlemen. That position, it's not hard to find a 7-foot guy who can play defense or who got length. But he is a unique talent, ladies and gentlemen. He has been, and you see, the reason why the Knicks kept him here. He just the injuries, man. Just the injuries. To me, you move on from that. But let me ask you guys a question. Jay Cholis, I was a lot of moving and shaking in the NBA so far, man. Obviously, you had the Desmond Bain thing going over there in Orlando. You had Drew Holiday going to Portland. You got Porzingis going down there to Atlanta. You got KD moving on over to Houston. For all the Knicks fans that want KD, you're gonna see something special in Houston with him and them dudes down there with Sergon and Amir Thompson. KD got dudes around him who could play defense, and all they need to do is get buckets. I think you and Doka and them are going to really bring out the best in that team. I think that was a good move by them, ladies and gentlemen. I thought that was a good move by that put them in championship contender. They was already second in the West this year.
Second, it's funny that you said that.
And they added KD with Sergon and Amir Thompson. They're gonna sign Van Vliet back. They got some good squad, some good. They gave Yuma Adoka his money. Shout out to Jay Chosen. What you guys think about what happened in the NBA so far? And everybody up in the ante, and obviously Desmond Bain going to Orlando was huge to me from a backcourt. Him and Jalen Suggs in that backcourt gonna be a problem on the defense side of it.
That starting five is going to be ridiculous. Okay, Suggs, him, what you call Wagner, that Panchero. Whoa, we better. That's why I'm saying we people making moves. We got to make moves. It's very interesting that you could go online. You could see who are the free agents. They're very easy to find. You could go and take a look at them. You could even find out where the money pairs, and see how it looks. Those moves that they made, like a Desmond Bain, right? That's an interesting move, right? It's an interesting move because of. I mean, think about what that coach, and that's one of the coaches that's on top of our list, right? That coach.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. They Knicks. Yeah, you made Doka. Yeah, he coached the Knicks previously, but I think a lot of that just voice.
No, definitely. I'm gonna just say this. So that team was even with there was a lot of distractions around that team, but they did well. Now Houston with this Durant move, that's just banana. That's bananas. The people around him, and think about his back. Who's his backup big men? They got big men galore on that team. You know what I'm saying? So, I want to say one last thing really quick before I move on to that next what you're talking about. The one thing about Mitch also is that he knew his lane. Mitch got the ball. He knew what he was supposed to do. Mitch didn't ever pretend like he wanted to do that. So when you're talking about that, we're talking about that offensive stuff. No, his bag is defense. His bag is leadership. His bag is getting back to the rim and back to the outside and back in. Now, I'm telling you right now, just to finish that conversation off, is that I got a question I wanted to ask, but you asked this question. The teams that made the trades, let me say to answer your question, teams that made the trades definitely upped their team. They weren't just so moves. They were real changers. The moves are changers. Mm-hmm. And that's why we have to take a hard look at our squad right now, and we can't use our heart. We can't use where we got to use our brains on this one, and we definitely could go out and get a $2 million center who will be looking to showcase his brand, and then have who do you say, Hakaporti, back him up, and then learn the game better, because I believe a new coach will allow some of these players to learn the game better, you know, and be involved more. But what I feel about it is I didn't want Durant, so I'm glad he didn't come here. I'll say that. I know Durant's a guy that everybody, you know, I'm not super down on. He's getting older. He's around a young team. I think he fits perfect right over there. This is a Jalen Brunson team. If Durant went here, it's a little different. You know what I mean? I think that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, I got you. Well, let me say this, and I'll let y'all power in. Let me make no mistake about this, ladies and gentlemen. If Durant was here last year, Knicks win the ring. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Kevin Durant was on the Knicks. We win the ring last year. That's all I'm gonna say. Ain't nothing else to be said. That's it. 7-foot sniper, 27 a game, PER up in the 24s, not the 13s like McHale's, the 24s. One of the best scoring guys ever to lace up a basketball. I'm not saying, I'm just saying for the Knicks, for me. And here's the caveat to Kevin Durant why Houston made the move that's crazy. Man got a $50 million expiring contract in a situation where the CBA got a second apron that's killing all the teams. The man got a $50 million expiring. KD, we just need you for this 1 year. We're not signing you after that. Ladies and gentlemen.
With the team we had, you're saying? With the team we already had.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. With the team we had. Yeah.
But listen, even if McHale, instead of McHale and Mitchell, that was KD.
Oh, definitely. Without McHale, okay.
The reason why I said number one, I don't care which Nick is on it. Let me put any Nick on that team this year. I don't care if it's Anunoby. I don't care if it's McHale, Josh Hart. Kevin Durant is not going in the NBA Eastern Conference Finals and fold in the clutch like our players did. No. That shit ain't happening. Let's keep it a buck. This is one of the best scorers to ever lace up a pair of sneakers in the NBA. I'm not advocating for Kevin Durant, but don't disrespect that man's name. Listen, when he went to Brooklyn, if his feet wasn't too big, Giannis wouldn't have a ring. If KD feet was size 9 instead of 11, Giannis wouldn't even have a ring. Don't disrespect that man went to Golden State and he helped Steph Curry them. If he wouldn't have went to Golden State, Steph wouldn't win no more after that. That's why they went and got him. He won 2 there. Listen, whether you like him or not, the man is fucking talented, bro. He is a fucking talent. LeBron
super out of the world talent. The guy is the first ballot Hall of Fame.
The dude stepped on that line and took a 3-point shot away and made it a 2. And Giannis went and went the ring. Giannis was about to go home after that shot. What they did in Houston is not only kept themselves with financial flexibility, they took $54 million off the books next year. I understand they already had their ring, but they got 2 more rings. Steph Curry got 4 rings, because 2 of them with Durant. And if Durant wasn't towards Achilles, might would have had another one. If he wouldn't have hurt, he wouldn't towards Achilles that year, might would have had another one.
I'm 100% sure, because I was a super fan of that OKC team that was filled with Durant and Westbrook and all that whole team. I was a super fan of that team. I won't lie to you.
Real, yeah.
And I want to tell you that if he was seasoned, you know what I mean by seasoned? Like if he had like a year or 2 under him by that time, they would have rocked through that. They would have stayed together somehow. That team would have been a dynasty, led by Durant. Yeah. And that's no doubt about it. But you know what? Let's not forget this either. As great as he is, and he is great, and I wasn't disrespecting his greatness. I'm just saying, he shot us down. The other day, he even said something about us. And then he's getting older. And that's the only reason why I'm saying that I wouldn't necessarily throw my money. Now, if your scenario, you said, hey, we'll give you this for 1 year, come over and play deuce or whatever it might be. You know, take Bridges out of there, throw him in this lineup. Yeah, okay, I'll do that. 1 year. You know, but after that, you know, he's heading towards 40.
Hey, listen, hey, real quick. LeBron 40, he 40. James Harden, they got talent. And like I tell you something, Houston Rockets right now is going to be a problem, ladies and gentlemen. I think them, OKC better watch out. I think it's going to be Houston Rockets, Dallas Mavericks, OKC, and I'm going to throw the Lakers in there next year in the West. Listen, man, they went out and got what they needed. Jalen Green and what's his name? Brooks. Ooh, motherfucking KD. Long shot. I think they're gonna be a powerhouse. I think Devin Bane gonna be. They did a good. That backcourt gonna be pretty much tough to deal with. It's gonna be tough to deal because they can lock down. They can lock down your backcourt in a minute. You know what I mean? So teams like that with that young defense-minded coach that Jamal Mosley is, they're gonna be held a team to 100 points every game down there. But they, you know, but Devin Bane also just scored the ball. So that helps them out in that area because their offense was always their problem, other than their two main dudes. But I think with a healthy Suggs in them, that's going to be crazy. The other things, I think the Portland thing, this was a Portland thing. I think the Celtics was trying to get rid of money shot powers. But that's the reason why I think the Knicks, I think we did it right by what the team we have. I think we still compete with all these teams. I still think we'd be up there. But make no mistake about it, the ones who can get better, they getting better. And the championship get harder every year because of the CBA, ladies and gentlemen. It ain't no more dominant teams in the NBA no more. You don't win it that year. Yeah, you don't win it that year. You ain't guaranteed to win it. A lot of Celtics, they won it last year. They won. What I said is hard to repeat because of the parity. And I think that, you know what, we got to see how the Knicks do it with a new coach, Shot Powers. We got to see what a new coach going to do for this team because we coming back with the same scenario with this year, same team. Maybe not injured coming out the door. I don't know. But you know, the NBA, I think it's Knicks Cleveland. So we keep forgetting about Cleveland, but I still think they're gonna be relevant. They're gonna try to make some moves. And I also think Orlando, Knicks, and them, and like I said, maybe Philly because we haven't seen their whole team with them three talent guys they got down there that's running. They showing Maxey and Embiid and Paul George. Let's see if they have a healthy year. So it's gonna be interesting to see. The NBA gonna be wide open, man. They moving and shaking Shot Powers. What's your thoughts on this stuff, man?
I'm my biggest thing. You know, it's a whole lot of things that could, you know, change way we look at things. The biggest thing is to get this coach. Once we get the coach, we know what direction we really going to flow towards. We're really going to know if we're going to turn ourselves into an offensive juggernaut team with a little bit of defense, or a defensive-minded team with a good amount of offense. And that's the biggest thing for me. You know, all the names we throwing out there and all this stuff, it sounds good to sound like that, but you know the Knicks move in silence. The Knicks already got a plan put together. And I'm pretty sure once Saturday, I'm saying this is my opinion, Saturday is the day that I think they're going to drop it before the first. Monday is with like the first. I think they're going to drop it Saturday to take the narrative from the weekend, or Friday night to take the narrative for the whole weekend to put it back on the Knicks. So now we know that we got a coach for the New York now. Now it's coming into July 1st. Next week is the summer youth. Wow. That's
the heat, bro. It's the heat.
Wow. Wow. Then we got the summer league, and then, you know, I mean, we have the coach that's going to be running, or not actually running it, but his team should be implemented and within them 10 days of July 1st, so we can have you know, his coaching team run the summer league and go from there. And that's going to be, if we go, what are we, the coach is going to determine to me what type of team we're going to be. If we get someone like a Jenkins, I think that we're going to be offensively gifted team, plus have a lot of players playing different style of defense that can coincide with the players that we have on the team. So if we get Jason Kidd, we are going to be an offensive-minded team. And I mean, with some defensive prowess to hold us down towards the end of games. If they go to this Nicholas guy from Minnesota, he is a defensive style guy. He likes to play defense. And then with the offense that we have, he has good not command. He has good Evan Flow with Cat. So he will implement Cat to be the man, and everybody feeds off of Cat. So it all depends on how the coach, for me, is who we pick for the coach. Once we have a more now, and I'm saying that we don't know, but the Knicks already know. The Knicks knew that they was getting Tom Thibodeau as soon as they signed him. They went 15 to 18 weeks before they said, all right, we're going to take Tom. We already knew we was going to take him. We'd have had to check everybody else out. So I think they already have an idea of who they're going to put in play, and that person know who that they are going to probably be hired, and they're already devouring the putting the team their team together, their coaching staff together to make this transition go seamless. And all the stuff that we sitting here talking about, oh, the Knicks did this, the Knicks did this, bam, 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 bam. Just like Mike Green say, that's exactly how the Knicks going to run this thing out. Coach, team, summer league, win summer league. Now we're going off to the to September and start playing some basketball. Let's get it.
Hey Jay, let me ask you a question real quick. Number one, what's your thought on the coaches that the coach will come? Who you think is going to be, and what do you think the Knicks need anything different than what they have going into next year from a player perspective? In other words, who you looking at as a coach that you would love to see, who you think is going to be here, who you love to see as the coach? And then the second question you can answer after that is, do you think the roster the way it's presently constructed going into next season, we good with it?
As it's presently constructed, no. I think that we have to make a few changes. I do believe that our bench needs to be improved mightily. Now, when I say mightily, it might be one player who could do a whole lot of things. It might be like two players who could do a bunch of stuff. I always laugh because it always feels like to me that all these other teams got way more cap space than we do all the time. And I'm like, damn, how are you picking these guys up? Especially like the Lakers. Like, how are you always getting these guys, right? But maybe that's the under the table money. I don't know. But, as far as a coach, I would love to see an offensive minded coach. I really would. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you why. We just came from years of a defensive minded coach. Years, right? Which means this. They know they have been beaten into their head. Whoever's been with him, let's say Brunson and Hard and some of these other cats and Towns for sure, they've been beat into their head what defense looks like. Okay, great. Bring over somebody that says, all right, now I want you to run and gun. I want you to turn this into Showtime. I want you to turn this into Broadway, the Showtime version. I want you to call it Broadway Boogie, and I want you to toss up these alleys and throw it off the backboard and bop, 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 bop. And I would like to see that. I like everybody that you named, even the defensive guy. He's been the backup Minnesota coach for 15 years, I think.
Oh no, Mike, something like that.
Yeah, I can't say Canish or I call him Kanish. I don't know what his. I don't remember his name. But between Jenkins, what happened with Bryant?
He's not. They're not going to do that. From what I hear, that he's not even in the conversation. From what I heard.
That's unfortunate. That's weird to me because my first two thoughts were Bryant and it was a toss-up between J. Kidd and Jenkins. That was my toss-up.
Brown out there, though.
And there's another one. And want to hear something about Brown that no one ever says? Out of all the coaches that have that are out there, he's got probably the most experience.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In every single thing, the offense, the defense, going to playoffs, coaching, assistant coaching, so It'd be very interesting to see. I think the deal is this: we need to get younger. I don't know how old Brown. I don't know how old he is. He's got to be younger than Tibbs, though, right?
Good. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, definitely. Tibbs probably one of the oldest in the league. Brown, to me, he had a lot. He coached the Lakers or Cleveland all the years with LeBron, but he had a good team last year, but he didn't take them nowhere to me. Yeah. I'm not a big Brown guy, but I know that's Worldwide West's boy. So
that's his boy.
That's
all
his
right.
boy.
See, that's the only reason why he's probably in the conversation. I really believe it's going to be. I really think it's down already. They know, like Sean said, they know it. Who it is. I think Jay Kidd already bought a house on Long Island. To be honest with you,
already have one out there.
right next to Billy Joel, so they could drink together and hang out. But I would like to get younger. And you know what? I don't know. I don't know if this team, who has aspirations to win championships, should go with a first-time coach. I don't know. To me, that's as much as I would like to see that. Does that make sense what I'm saying? As much as I would like to see that, I think that we need to see somebody that got experience and is younger. I think Jay Kidd fits perfectly into this team.
I think it's going to be Jay Kidd.
What do you agree with that? You're saying?
Oh yeah, no question. I think it's going to be him.
He's got the house already.
Yeah, and not only that, like I said, you don't lose your three of your assistants. You don't lose them.
No.
Jay Kidd just lost Sweeney, Shangar, and he just lost Dudley to Cleveland. 3 of his coaching staff dudes just left. Ladies and gentlemen, what that means? He got to train a whole new coaching staff, and his team got aspirations of going pretty deep. Kyrie there, Davis. Now you got Cooper Flag. Now and you got you signed Gafford. But I think Jay Kidd aspirations is to come to New York. I really believe that. I think the writing's on the wall. If that's the case, he really would have already signed that deal. Why have Jason Kidd not signed the deal? Distinction. Why they haven't given it to him?
Right.
But you lose 3 of your coaches, though. It's like me and Sean Powell was saying earlier in the show. You lose 3 coaches on your coaching staff. That don't even make sense to me. That now, instead of focusing on your players coming to the training camp, you got to focus on who you're going to be coaching with. That don't make no sense. Not for a championship.
Sure he's going to be the coach, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. It don't make no sense to me. So I do think, and not only here's the caveat, ladies and gentlemen, who you think got Jalen Brunson the way he at right now the last couple of years?
I was just about to beat me to it. Right. And he's a Brunson guy, and he's a point guard, and the point guard's our captain. I really believe it all fits like
Jalen Brunson, and that's why you go get Jason Kidd. No, remember, he took Luke and them to the Western Conference Finals with Jalen Brunson, and then win again the other.
Yep.
If anybody can get the Knicks to the finals, it's Jason Kidd. Literally, because he took Luke and them, and that Luka team to me wasn't better than the team we got now. I don't think. You know what I mean? So it's interesting to see. Yeah, I don't think it was better than the team we got now. So I think he's the perfect candidate. His age-wise, talent-wise, coaching-wise, NBA point guard player who's been successful at all levels. And he will untap Deuce McBride. He will untap Jalen Brunson. He will untap them guys down there, man. And we didn't have that other than Mo Cheek from a defense side, coaching. But I do think that might, to me, I think he might be in there, Shaw Powell and Jay Chosen. Like, got a good chance to get there. I'm not saying he will, but he still got there, though. The thing is, he got there.
I think he also helped settle down.
Is he the best coach? No. But out of everybody on the market right now, ladies and gentlemen, let's just take the whole NBA. Who's the best coach available for the Knicks that's possible to be available? It's Jason Kidd. It's Jason Kidd. Then because sometimes you like the team that you play, they might just be better than you. Like you going to the like put like this here, Indiana lost Rod because we expected they kind of thought that LKC was the best team this year, even though Indiana took them 7. But you know, like last year they thought Boston was the best team, so that coach out coach the other coach. Maybe the coach didn't coach bad, it's just that his team wasn't better than the team he lost to. Because sometimes it might not be that you're a bad coach. It might be the team that you were going up against just might be better than you. Same thing with Tibbs. Like we always say with Tibbs, Jay told them when Tibbs started coaching in the NBA as a head coach, ranked in the NBA then. LeBron James had the NBA lock when Tibbs became a coach. Lucky year with 9, 10, 12 years old. Sometimes you just at the wrong place at the wrong time. You know what I mean? And I think that's just the way it goes. I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting, but I do like J Kidd. I think he's the perfect fit for the Knicks because he got Jalen Brunson's respect already, ladies and gentlemen. He got their respect. These guys, these new coaches the coaches that are coming in, we talking about. He got to earn these players' respect. He got to earn their trust. He got to earn their trust. They got to earn their respect. Guys like Jason Kidd already got their respect.
Right.
Yeah, that's the difference when you got a championship aspiration team. Yeah, you could bring in a guy. I like a lot of these guys they talking about, but do they have the respect that they're going to give? Like we know Jalen Brunson, we know Carl every time they're going to give Jason Kidd that respect he deserves because he is Jason Kidd, and he's proven himself on that level. Like he proven that I can get you this far. And they trust in me in my system, and so far he done done it, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting, but I like Taylor Jenkins. I think if it ain't Jalen, if it's not Tom, if it's not Jason Kidd, I'm a Taylor Jenkins guy. I think Taylor Jenkins did a good job down there in Memphis with John Morant and with all that crazy shit that went on
with
there.
All that stuff going on, what he did, unbelievable. That's what I was trying to get out earlier. When we were talking about Houston, my mind switched to Memphis. To me, they go hand in hand for some reason. And what he had to deal with what's going on, you got job with this, Bane. Let's not forget at one time in Memphis, the entire starting unit was hurt. And he had these other guys, they call the other guys. Some you don't even know half their names. The Williams, what's his name? G.G. Williams or whatever. The guy was getting like 40 a night for him. And he could coach. There's no doubt about it. I just think that J Kidd is, and then that's my order as well. What you just said is my order as well. Apparently, and if you go on to X right now, Zach Gelb, Scoop Robinson, who I watch a bunch, Scoop B they call him. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, Scoop B. Yep.
Yeah, Scoop B made it very clear that when interviewed, Jason Kidd said that his dream job is the New York Knicks, and that's where he wants to be. Yeah, and that was within the last 2 hours.
Yep. And I'll tell you something else interesting. Even guys like, I think Size 9 got it in the chat already. Actually, here's a problem with Mike Malone, Size 9. I don't think he's gonna come because of what they did to kids with Tibbs. I think that's the only reason I don't think Mike Malone will come to New York, Size 9, is because of how they handled the Tibbs situation. They go back like that, man. They go back like that. I mean, like Brandon Malone, Tibbs, all them cats come from Van Gundy and Pat Riley tree, man. These cats were family. And I don't think that Mike Malone probably said, listen, man, you fired this dude, he just got you I don't think he was feeling that. Though I think that he would be an excellent coach. He is another Tibbs, though. He's just another Tibbs. I'm talking about for the way he coached, his demeanor, his energy, his grittiness, he hard like that. That's that Pat Riley tree, all of his disciples. That's all the disciples right there. Tibbs, Malone, all you name it. That's disciple Spoelstra. So I don't know, but I don't know.
The guy that's under Spoelstra that's going to take his job, they all grow from that tree.
They came from that tree, man. They came from that tree.
Like Marcel's had a tree. He had one.
Yep. That's why. That's the only reason I think that maybe it might not happen. But if Malone might say, well, it is what it is. I can't turn this job down because they got a good team and he think they can get them to the finals. Then he might reconsider. But ain't nobody making no petty. Ain't nobody feeling no. I ain't feeling sorry for Tom Thibodeau. He got $30 million. So
that's right. He's still getting paid, chilling.
Right. Ain't like Jane Dolan fired him from the man walking away with $30 million. I ain't got no sympathy for him. I'm like, what the fuck? What?
Right. You might find him in the building still.
Right,
Look,
right.
I'm gonna tell you something. The words that they used when they fired him did not sound like you're leaving. It did not sound like you're leaving.
Right, right.
I'm gonna tell you. What was the word that they called it again?
That's right. They
relieved
him of his duties.
Yeah, from the duties. Like he was like a general or something. Yo, he might be upstairs.
Yeah, he earned that respect though.
He got it.
That's why to me, I think what James Dolan and them did, they didn't do that because they didn't like Tibbs, ladies and gentlemen. They did that because they thought the players wanted a different voice. Like the players just wasn't really, probably feeling what Tibbs was doing in the long run. Whether it's minutes, whether it's this, whether it's not playing, whatever the case may be.
They tuned him out.
Yeah, I think that they just decided, listen, we need a new voice in here, Shaw Powers. Knicks need a new voice in the locker room. Tibbs brought us from mediocre to relevancy. They Knicks say, and Jane Dolan, that's the reason why Jane Dolan probably said, you know what, Tibbs, listen, man, I want to go in a different direction with get a guy a different voice. But for all your contributions, I'm gonna give you $30 million. Thank you for what you did for us. That's it.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Man, the man, Jane Dolan could have made Tibbs stay there and like listen, you got to earn this $30 million. The man gave him $30 million. That's his bonus for being fired. Okay, let's chop out. Let's move on to the next. Man, let's go around, man. We're gonna get out of here in about a few minutes, man. But what's your thoughts, man? Listen, real quick before I pass the Chop Powers.
It's fact, man.
Free agency is the 30th. We had the 26th of that pie. So we probably come on instead of the episode 3 on next Wednesday. We probably jump in some in between time because, like, obviously free agency be happening on the 30th and the 31st. We'll jump in there.
Free agency. Because the trade, what you call this tonight, right? Yeah,
draft tonight. The Knicks probably get a 50th pick.
Right, tonight, tomorrow. Right, tomorrow.
Yeah, but the 30th. So what we do, we hop in with the free agency show. I try to get up some content set up and everything. Because with that free agency, gonna be some wheeling and dealing. It's gonna be a busy season, ladies and gentlemen. It's already started with all these trades. Like this is gonna be a really moving and shaking summer for the NBA. And let's see how it goes because, like you said, Boston just freed up like 30, almost 60 million, at least 50-something million with my man Drew Holiday and them. But they bought an Anthony Simons contract, but obviously that ain't gonna last long. So they got a little bit more offense minded. And also got rid of Porzingis, who didn't play like that many games. He played, but not that many. So that's a good move by them. But we'll see how it goes in the next couple of days, ladies and gentlemen. Just keep your eyes open for the Knicks after tomorrow. We'll see how it goes and everything. But yeah, Crims, them boys was way over that luxury tax. I see why they did it, Crims. Boston was like 100. They was in that luxury tax. That owner was like, Nah.
Especially getting outed by us so early in the playoffs. That was it. That's really what did it right there too.
I think the Jason Tatum injury did it. That too. That what you saying and that Jason Tatum injury. They're not going nowhere without Tatum.
No,
he was like Brad Stevens was like, Lord, let me retool this thing for a year. And hopefully Anthony Simons' money come off the books sooner or later, or whoever they got for Porzingis' money come back off. So when Jason Tatum get back, we have that $50 million or whatever to go get that other player to go with him and Jaylen Brown or a couple of players, Shop Hours. So give me your thoughts, man. Then I go to my man Jay, and then we get out of here, man, and all that good stuff.
Knicks fans, let's be patient. Like Devon said, June 30th is right around the corner. Draft night is tonight. I believe, in my opinion, I hope that something pops off this week by Saturday. So this way, before the 30th gets here, they can have the team, the coach can have his team already assembled. So in 2 more weeks, they'll be ready for the playoffs. For the summer league. So, I mean, with that being said, man, tune in. We'll be back on in a couple of days, and let's get it.
Cribs got so much good humor, man. That brother always had me in my. I can't laugh on the camera, but Cribs be having my stomach in knots sometimes. I'm glad though that we need people like Cribs, man. I love humor. I think humor is a great thing, man. In life, man.
Cribs, you're all right, man, but you still owe me money. I don't want to hear about it. And so if you're gonna send one over, make sure that she's 5'2", about 125 pounds. All right. I'll be all right for that.
But did you catch? But check it out though. This one, you know, Cribs got a lot of, not only got a lot of humor, but the way he did, he said, trade Jay Cholder, Italian chef, for an Asian sushi chef, and obviously, you know, the sushi chef ain't cooking. So you know the sushi chef ain't cooking. You know, you Cribs, you the man, my man. But yeah, Jay, my bad. Go ahead, my brother.
He's all right. He said, nah, Crims is whack. Nah, Andios, Crims ain't whack. He's just old. It's all right. Old and whack are different. Speaking of old and different, Tom Thibodeau, here's your flowers. Thank you very much for making our team better and better and better and better every day. Too bad you couldn't make Crims any better. The father any better, but you did make our team better. Jay Kidd is 52 years old, and you're both, brother. And 52 years old. He's been around the league. He took that team that was no chance in the world that was going to beat LeBron and them, and in Dallas, and won with Tyson Chandler and them and all that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this guy. Wait till I get on you. I cannot wait to be in the chat. I cannot wait. But either way, look, I'm looking forward to the show regarding the
free
agencies and all that other stuff. It was a good show. And thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no doubt. Shot Power is my man.
Let's get it, Divine. We out.
We out. And listen, man, thank everybody, Jay Cholder and Josh Powell. Thank y'all for coming. And listen, everybody, hydrate. Don't perpetrate. Hydrate, man. It's burning up out this motherfucker's barn. Drink mad water. It's like, listen, the thermostat is crazy, man. Y'all just be careful out there, man. And just be out there. Not only we got to deal with all the other things in life out there in the streets, but that motherfucking heat is superseding everything. It's blowing people out the water. So listen, y'all, thank y'all for coming in, man. Thank y'all for just participating in the show. Hit that like, subscribe for y'all lead the channel. We'll be on in the next 5 days, ladies and gentlemen. Like we said, free agency is coming up. We always like to partake in that every year. We don't really got no free agents to sign. Our money is low, but I don't think we're gonna do anything too much. But like I said, around that time, a lot of trades happen. Hopefully, like Shaw Powell said, Jalen said, we have a coach by then. And it's all good. So, until then, man, listen, y'all stay safe. Thank y'all for coming. I'll see y'all brothers hopefully on the next couple of days, man. We get out of here. Shy, man, Jay Cholder, salute to the chat. That's where it's at. Y'all already know, man. We'll see y'all, man. Let me get this intro out of here, and I'm gonna go up here and take it out. I know Shy Powell's ready to get out of there. He's like, I got to get ready to make these donuts, bro.
It's still early. It's early.
Okay. Listen. Y'all enjoy it, man. Peace, everybody.
Peace.
Yo, Divine, what's good? You know what it is, bro. About to go ahead and get with SP. We about to get this Knicks Real Talk 3 days popping off. Get this shit popping, man. I'll holla at you. One.
Up in the black Silverado, stop and get some petrol to hit the metro on full throttle. Across the Gospels, we in the Mecca bottleneck. On 32nd, where this bottle is Sharon flexing. Posted up like sticky note. You smell the icky in the air like hickory smoke. Carotene, we well represented. We on that Nick shit. You can smell it, so please don't step in it. Cause the burner cooking with gas. The cat in the alley dig up to your team trash. Getting that cash ready for DoorDash and make a splash. But they moving slow before the pregame show. No capsule here, what's on tap. But God, no talking five. And report, keep my just in the chat. Interacting with your mandem. It's a brand in front of the camera. There's a picture. Catch and snap back to fit the cat. So we Nick dripping. Nick feel, we fit the description. It's the OG, Olin and Ananobi. Me and my man Brody, we run your fire TV, that's Cody.
It's Knicks Real Talk. You know how we get down. We in that Nick drip, dripping and Nick drip.
that Nick drip, dripping and Nick drip. We in that Nick drip, dripping and Nick